Alright, so star boy Mohammed Kudus ne ho komo na yeguso ayedie. Now question adodona ebisa say Kudus 55 million pounds Tottenham for the assigning from Western United no. Does Kudus Mohammed merit sa amount na omode to no because already the likes of Thomas T.Partey amount of 55 million pounds and Atletico Madrid eje from Arsenal Abrante ne koye no o prove in the world Emma Arsenal for enya ne so emfaso where Micheal Essien also amount mu Emma otimi e free Olympic Lyon ekopiem edema Chelsea na Essien at Chelsea no obi an say Abrante na the world no e wo soro e na koye no so no otimi e perform ye edema Chelsea boboko no. So question ankrofo ebisa say can Kudus Mohammed also merit amount etimi area mu Emma or sign here edema Tottenham Hotspur na nene on Sporty FM Raymond etimi area mu edi enkoma hodo na abusua breaking news eba yes Abrante star boy Mohammed Kudus enra mebeka kyo say Abrante no wo hwe official announcement etimi etodwa anye Stone Boy ene etimi ebo modern eye enwum kama edema Abrante na
the truck.
Yeah, I don't know some world champion is born, you know. That them finna, you know. Yeah. Who said them? I say them are the champion that me never hear. Kudus the Tottenham and him a go mash it up in every game. He got the pattern and style of Baza kick be the name. Get to use from Nima straight out of Ghana. Rise up the banner, alhamdulillah. Champion. Star born leader, all eyes on you. Champion. All over the world, you a superstar.
Official announcement in eba you know. Now you say Abrante no nyom enamase a bibibia say Abrante still or so being fan. Na eno ena ye say Stone Boy enwum otimi bom wode e compose ye edema star boy Mohammed Kudus no ene yesisika twitwiri die pa and allegedly yes Stone Boy etimi eje ye Eddie free star boy Mohammed Kudus wo na per reporter urban say is around 350k ena etimi area mu from Kudus Mohammed to Stone Boy na say ena enkomo no per reporter circulate no allegedly almost say an exclusive source tells me Stone Boy reportedly charged Mohammed Kudus a whooping 350k for recomposing the overload for his Tottenham Hotspur's announcement. Sikapudo pa eti eno so eye ensem a etodwa utim say ya no credit na is Stone Boy wono so agiska a enya asem keto now yenko na yenko ti Raymond nensem a any analysis or the Raymond as far as say Kudus Mohammed ne move to Tottenham no eye concern yenko video no Emra.
But Nathan, yes, we must first establish that being the most expensive player in Ghanaian history does not mean you are the best Ghanaian player abroad. No, let's for the avoidance of doubt.
Okay, fine.
The fact that you are the most expensive player doesn't necessarily mean you are the best player out there. You have to go and justify this price tag.
He has to justify it.
Of course. He has to justify this price tag. And he has to prove to everybody that indeed Tottenham spent 55 million pounds on me because they saw my potential, they saw my talent, they saw my skill set, and felt that, look, bringing me to this club, I'll move them to the next level. So for Kudus to do what Micheal Essien did, become a Micheal Essien at Chelsea,
yes,
he has to justify that price tag. Okay. So for a very long time, Micheal Essien was on top of the tree. And he backed that price tag with the kind of performances we saw him put out for Chelsea on the field. Okay. So Kudus Mohammed, having gone into that position, would have to justify this price tag.
Okay.
Partey at Arsenal, largely, but for injuries, anytime Partey was on the pitch, you could tell this was a quality player. And Arsenal would say, well, regardless of how things went, they'll still believe that Partey justified this price tag, but for injuries.
Okay. But for injuries.
Okay. Partey largely during his tenure at Arsenal. No Arsenal fan would today tell me that Partey was not a good player. He proved his worth at Arsenal. Asamoah Gyan, when he joined Sunderland, again on the back of a very good World Cup, right? He came to Sunderland and did the business until he left for the Gulf.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you look at Andre. Andre, fantastic player. Big money move to West Ham. Unfortunately, his career at West Ham was truncated by a terrible injury. And I think that's his first.
It was his first game.
Yeah.
I remember at Chelsea.
Yeah.
He tore his hamstring at Chelsea, and
that was it. And that was it for him. Then you can talk about Kamaldeen Sulemana. Lots of potential, showed lots of promise. But when he joined Southampton, that big money move, he never really cut it. So you again look at it and say, well, yes, huge price tag, but you have to go and do the business. You have to go and do the job. You have to go and justify why the club spent so much money on you. And when you look through the list, just a few of the players in there have done it. Baba Rahman never cut it at Chelsea. He never made it happen.
Yeah,
okay,
he too
again,
had
injury issues and all.
yeah.
But that's what I'm saying, that huge price tag, yes. But you are now going to prove to everybody that you are worth that amount of money they spent on you.
Okay.
But that notwithstanding, I think it's a good move for Kudus. Okay. Playing for West Ham. West Ham is not your typical top 4 club. West Ham may finish at best Europa League places. And then normally you'd find them playing in the Conference League.
Yeah.
They've even won the Conference
Yes,
League before.
they did.
Yes. And so
Kudus joined them
that's
the season after they won.
So that's where you'd normally find a West Ham. Okay. But you would get a Tottenham Hotspur over the last few seasons we've seen them challenging to play in the top 4. Okay. And by virtue of the fact that they are playing in Europe this time, you can expect that Kudus will get a bit more spotlight.
Okay.
Week in, week out, we'll see Mohammed Kudus play in the Champions League. Every weekend, we'll see Mohammed Kudus play in the English Premier League. And Kudus is one of those players who has quite a very good fitness record. He doesn't normally get injured. He's not always out of the team because of injury. So again, you are guaranteed starts if you stay fit and deliver fantastic performances week in, week out. For most part of last season, he had his own battles. First with Julian Lopetegui. And we all know how that relationship started. There were times he made him play, there were times he felt he wasn't good for him tactically in the setup and all. So Mohammed Kudus, right from the start of the tenure of Julian Lopetegui, started losing a bit of confidence. Okay. Until he was fired somewhere in January this year. Then Graham Potter took over. Again, new manager, new role, new way of playing, new way of training. All of those things distracted him a bit. But without doubt, playing under David Moyes found a system that suited him. David Moyes found a way to play him, and he delivered. And if you look at the numbers, Mohammed Kudus played, I think, 1,526 minutes on the right side of attack for West Ham.
On the right?
Yeah, on the right.
Where he was cutting onto his left.
Okay. And then, delivering what we all know he delivers. So, playing in that position, we saw his performances. I think he scored about 14 goals in all competitions and 9 assists. That was his best season, having just joined the club under David Moyes. Playing under different managers, shifted the role a bit. He played almost half of the same, not even half. He played just about 640 minutes on the right, playing under 2 different managers last season. And clearly, you compare the numbers, the number of minutes he played in that first season for West Ham under Moyes on that right-hand side, and the 600 minutes he did under 2 managers in the second season. Clearly, the output wasn't going to be the same. He struggled with all that. So, playing under a manager like Thomas Frank. Thomas Frank is one of the managers you can credit for being very tactically malleable. Tactical flexibility. Fantastic. He knows how to set up a team to get the best out of players. He knows the strengths and weaknesses of players and tries to get them to focus on their strengths and deliver in the team. He's done that with players like Oli Watkins, like I said earlier today. He's done it with Buemo. He's done it with Wissa, Ivan Toney, even goalkeeper David Raya. So he knows how to get players to deliver. Now Kudus comes into a team where, for the manager and the player himself, they are all new there. So it's a good time to justify inclusion in that setup. It's a good time to catch the eye of the coach, because all the players in there would have to prove themselves to the coach. Okay.
Even those who were there before
who were there before he came would all have to go and justify themselves to the coach and say, well, I am good at this, I am good at that. What helps Kudus is that he's the coach's choice. The coach wants him and has brought him into the team. So he can shape him in the mode of an Mbeumo or a Wiza or an Ivan Toney or, whichever player he wants to turn him into. That possibility is there. So I'm expecting that Kudus is in good hands. Mm-hmm. I'm expecting that with Thomas Frank at the helm, he can help Kudus gradually become that player that we all expect to see him to be. Mm-hmm. He can get Kudus to be that high performer week in, week out. So he's in good hands. He has a good manager. He has a good crop of players around him. He's going to play around Udogie, lots of young players as well. Udogie, Brennan Johnson, there's Kulusevski in that team. There's Madison with lots of experience in there. There's Van de Ven. He's a very good friend. You know that melee that ensued last
I remember.
Van de Ven, all of them were in there. Richarlison, all of them were in there.
I remember
that ended them with their 5-game ban. All of those things happened. And so these are players around his age bracket that he would form a very good unit with. And this is a team that should look good in the next 2-3 seasons. This Tottenham team with the age of the players in there, with the kind of manager they have, and how he builds teams for the future. I think that he's one of the top ones there, and he should deliver for the team. And Thomas Frank, you look at that Brentford team, and he's credited for having improved that Brentford team a lot. So you look at the value of that team since he took over and since he managed them before he left. The statistics or the data shows that he improved that team by 34%, improved the value of the team by 34%. That's huge for a manager who picks players who are not your well-known quantities and then tries to get them into world beaters. So I believe Thomas Frank will do a good job at Tottenham, and I believe that with the kind of players he has, and with Kudus joining the fray, he should be able to help Kudus get to the top just as we wanted. So all the best to Mohammed Kudus, and we hope that a lot of his dribbling skills and his power drivers and all would deliver mouth-watering performances for him, or a lot of praise for him week in, week out. So we wish him well. It's a good move for him, good move for the Black Stars as well, because we get to see our player playing the Champions League. We get to see
Spurs are in next season's Champions League, so
we get to see him a bit more.
It's good for him,
and we hope that his confidence comes back.
Well, I agree with you completely. I wish Starboy the very best. Right, this is a huge step for him. I like the fact that at every turn of his career, he's taking the most logical step. So right to Dream, North Island, and then to Ajax to get you into mainstream European football, West Ham to get into the Premier League, and then you move up to Spurs, who have Champions League, bigger profile, bigger club than West Ham, if you like.
Yeah.
And the fact that he gets to play in the Champions League is good. And then from that point, if you do well, you can only move upwards. So now you are now getting into the bracket of the bigger teams, either in England or in Spain or Italy, wherever. So I just wish him very well. I hope that he would have learned the lesson. He's been in England for 2 seasons. I hope he would have learned, what works, what doesn't work. He himself as a player, I'm sure he's now figured out this works in the Premier League, this doesn't work in the Premier League. So now that I'm going to a newer team. We'll see what happens. Let's speak to Christopher Nimley. He's a coach and pundit, and let's get his thoughts on what this means for Kudus. So maybe we can have a chat about tactically where does Kudus fit into this West Ham. It's a very important question because teams buy players and then they realize, wait a minute, this guy doesn't fit. So we'll have to find out if Kudus will be a good fit at Spurs.
Alright, so at the comment section, Obaswana Wache Eddie Amami, Kudus Mohammed, Abrateno, we know for sure, say Eyedia Messi Obe proving a word, was Tottenham Hotspur. William say under Thomas Frank, Thomas Frank, manage top players, David Raya Munyan, opinion at Tiomo, Brian Mbeumo, opinion and Teteno, and we know for sure, say Kudus, Obetim affair way, was Tottenham Hotspur. For you to comment section, Mammy, na encounter 80 me enquiry.